Node 564560 connected to node 564562.
Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. This is W7ATL. Testing 1 2 3.
Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television EBT format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater at Cougar Mountain and spits out images at 1.2 2. More about our group, please Google WW7. That's Google WW7. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, and also you'll find a link to YouTube where we simulcast our audio on WR's repeater, the 08 machine 147.08 with a tone of 103.5. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So far checked into the net by video is Bob, K9PQ, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is anybody else wishing to check in?
Good evening, Dave. This is James, WU7N. Your motorboat is back.
Well, thank you for that response. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. And welcome to the net, James. WU7N. With Bob, K9PQ.
Well, good evening, everybody.
This is K9PQ, and I am, as usual, coming to you from my trailer. I am still at, let's see, I was here Wednesday. I am still at Fort Flagler. Haven't been out a whole lot. I still want to go and see all the emplacements and check everything out. But today was very windy and a little bit of rain, not much rain, and in fact it cleared up and got sunny later, but a little chilly and very windy, so I didn't feel like going out too much. I did go down and, see the waves crashing and the white caps out there on the water, and I was content to just come back and get that view from the window of my trailer. I happen to be situated where I've got a nice view of the water and in fact all the way to Victoria, looking north. So I can see Port Townsend and Victoria from here, and so yeah, it's a nice was a nice view out there. I guess that's good for starters. I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's pick up Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
Hello, everybody. Wait for my audio to come in here. All right, audio's working. Didn't have a lot planned for this round. Just wanted to say nice to see everybody. Sorry I wasn't able to join the meeting earlier today. But yeah, I'm going to turn it back to Dave, Net Control. I might have some more on the next round. All right, 7ITL back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's see if Jim's with us. N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, let's see. Bob, lousy weather, windy, cool whitecaps. Yeah. It was a pretty lousy day here as well up until maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so. The heavier rain stopped maybe an hour or two before that, but it kept raining. And it was a bit windy even at like 2 o'clock or so over here, but it had calmed down some. Right now it's nice and clear outside, and I have 48 degrees here at the house, just south of Covington. Looks like a pretty night. I cannot sense any wind out there right now, but it's not like I was outside for very long now. Sure has felt cold the last few days. I've been kind of busy doing a whole bunch of things I don't want to be doing, but that's life, I guess. Wade, I see you with your Radio Club of Tacoma cap. That looks good. So far, the television repeater is doing well. Dave, I heard motorboating on you as well, for sure on 2 meters, but I think it may have been not nearly as bad on the television repeater. I'll see if it happens again. I'll let you know about that. I guess I'll talk about Halloween on the next go-around. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Okay, Dave, this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can come in on OBS via the internet to the... Okay, I'm actually trying to use Discord tonight and can't get my camera started, but there's so many other things wrong with this particular machine. I'm not sure I can fairly blame Discord for this one. So, well, anyway, Bob, I'm glad that you were able to get out a little bit. I'm kind of disappointed you didn't tell us that you tried to do the polar bear plunge swimming thing. It'd be a great day to do that, for you to do that, not necessarily for me. So I'm glad you're having a good time up there and enjoying your sort of, I call it time off away from a normal home. I think it's a great opportunity to see the parks at a time when the weather's not all that horrible. You're not in snow, and you can see a lot of the parks and report to us. It's really nice. I'm thinking about doing that maybe early spring myself. Well, let's see. Not too much exciting happened to me today. Went out for a walk on the break in the rains. It was raining quite hard early this morning here, really coming down. And by, 9 o'clock, it had lightened up quite a bit. So I was on teleconference with some people, and all of a sudden I realized, wow, I don't hear the rain pouring down outside. So we had quite a cell come through last night and leave everything soaking. So I give kudos to the Weather Service because they did predict we would have hydrologic problems, which is a fancy name for flooding and landslides. So other than that, let's see. I've been poking away at tonight. I did get logged into Discord, but I can't seem to get my camera going on the Dell laptop. But I can get the camera to work on other applications. I just can't get Discord to recognize the camera. So anyway, that's the hot news that is news here at 10 after the hour. Looks like the World Series has taken its toll on net participation tonight. So Dave, I'll leave it to you how long you want to run this. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control in Seattle, Washington.
WU7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. I've got 47 degrees and partly cloudy outside. But boy, we had a gully washer come through this afternoon about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And we clocked in at about 1.25 inches rain, so it was pretty moist, you might say. And most of the tree leaves have started to come down. I'd say about 25% is down from most of the trees in the neighborhood. covering the ground with sort of a mess, but fall, and that's sort of normal. So this afternoon, watching a little bit of, and then watching the World Series game this evening. So that's about it for me, and so I'm going to send it back up to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Well, I did hear motorboating for you, your first, that first time around, but this whole last transmission, none at all. So hopefully that's done with. And yeah, so I did have a little rain this morning, but it was more like a sprinkle. And when I finally did go outside, which was, I don't know, a little after noon, I saw the dark clouds to the south. So I saw what you guys were getting, but I did not get that. We got just a little bit of moisture today. It was mainly the wind, and it stayed windy longer here. I can tell from what you guys are describing, and also I checked out the weather report not only for here, but also for back down my home, Balfour. And let me just say, shout out to the National Weather Service, who are obviously still functioning while the federal government is out. But for what they did, which was the localization of weather forecasts, just amazing. And I think all the other ones basically just steal what they put out and then put it out on their own weather forecast sites, because the localization that you see everywhere now. But I think I first saw it on the National Weather Service site, and it's pretty amazing how good they get it. At least on a short term, same day or next day, they get it really good. How my weather is different than the weather in Bellevue. That's different than the weather in Tacoma. It's pretty cool. Polar bear plunge. You know what, James? I would have done it. I would have, but here's the thing. I'm saving it for January 1st if I'm still in my trailer. Then it'll be polar bear plunge time. Because if I'm still in my trailer January 1st, I may just, get in and, swim to Hawaii or something. Had one other thing, but I can't think of it right now. Maybe just that I'm also fine with a short net tonight. I'll stick around. If we do go another round, I'll happily do that, but I don't have a whole lot to say, so I'm very fine ending it early myself. I'll send it back. This is K9PQ. Back to you, Dave.
K9PQ, let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right. Well, I am kind of low on content tonight, and but it is nice to hear everybody. Of course, some projects I've been working on tonight. I was since we've been having some issues with Discord video. I was looking at some free products. There's a product out there called Nextcloud, and it's basically a self-hosted cloud. And one of its features that you can enable is video and talk and chat. So I'm playing around with that right now as we talk here. If I get it to work, it might be an alternative. It doesn't really have any limitations on net times or anything like that. I don't think it does have a iOS. I also believe there's an Android app. It's called Nextcloud Talk is the app name, and once it's working, we can play around with it. But other than that, I did go to the Radio Club of Tacoma today. Didn't see anybody other than a few folks because I came so late. Had kind of a late start today. I didn't really get out of bed until around 10, and was getting some items ready for the Radio Club of Tacoma, because I'm trying to revisit the DATV repeater. So I found some coax in the garage. I found about 75 feet of thin heliacs. So I think I might have dropped out. So I was talking about I found some supplies. I'm gonna try to revisit the DATV station setup at the Radio Club at Tacoma. So hopefully I can get out there sometime next week or so to test out some of this changes I want to put in so we can get this station working. So I think I'll call this my 73 round unless we want to keep going. So I'll send it back to Dave, our net control. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's see, an update on the game. LA just scored a point, so it's tied up 4-4, top of the ninth, and LA at bat. So at this point, let's move over to the one and only N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure if the World Series is taking a toll on us or not. I abandoned watching that to come here. I hit record on my DVR, and so I'll check on that later. Dave, I appreciate that update. Tie score. This is a sort of sports events that I like. They're tied up 3-3, and kind of sort of well matched. It goes back and forth, and now it's like anyone can win. It's the top of the ninth, and it's anyone's game. What's going to happen? I'll find out sometime afterwards. Let's see. Bob, polar bear plunge, January 1st. Swim to Hawaii? Yeah. Hope you don't get eaten by some hungry fish. Wow. Okay, that brings up a little story of animals eating stuff. Here at my place, we had 0 people come to my house trick-or-treating. The weather was pretty awful, I have to say that, over here during time for the trick-or-treaters. And when I was a kid, I probably would not have gone out. I just buy my own candy rather than going and getting wet. But so my neighbor, who also is here, a bunch of us got 0 people knocking on our doors. But my neighbor went out and saw some empty candy wrappers and candy that was gone. He just put a bucket outside and figured the kids could go and help themselves. So he goes out there in the morning and then finds empty wrappers and candy gone. He's thinking, well, that's pretty bad. Someone maybe just stood there and ate on it. How come his security camera didn't really catch someone doing that? And then he didn't think a whole lot of it. But a couple of hours later, his cell phone started pinging him multiple times, and he turned on the cell phone and looked at his security camera, and there was a whole bunch of squirrels out there eating on his candy, which he did not bother taking inside. He doesn't eat it. He's diabetic, so he figured, well, whatever, I'll just leave it out there for now. And apparently the squirrel that showed up went and told his buddies, and his place was just swarming with squirrels, all looking for the candy. So that's the story from here. I just thought that was hilarious. At least the squirrels had a happy Halloween. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, that is a great story about the squirrels. And get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
And waiting for sync up on OBS. And there it is. This is WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And I did get the camera to work on Discord, so it's Dave and myself on Discord tonight. So that's a victory. I'll share with you a card that I got. There's a really cute Halloween card I got. And it shows, the skeleton and the chicken and the pumpkin, but they've all got little chicken feet. So I leave it to your imagination what they really are. And then is the greeting on the inside. But the really nice touch is my sister has a personal bat stamp. And the story behind that is that when they lived down the street from me, at that time, we had a lot more insects living in this area than we do now. We have almost no insects, so I don't know what a bat would eat. It's kind of scary. I don't know what happened to them all. But we would, you could watch in the summertime, just sit out and watch by the street lights. The bats would come by and get the bugs. Well, they got one in their house. It seemed quite 3, 4, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, testing. WU7N.
4, testing.
Okay, looks like I'm back on the air again. This is Whiskey Uniform 7 November, coming in via OBS to the Cougar Mountain site. Okay, I see a thumbs up there. Sorry about that, guys. Don't mean to be too long and windy here. So anyway, I don't know how much of that you got, but they finally got the bat out of their house. And so she got the bat stamp. The famous bat stamp for Halloween is what she has there. Show it there. Dave can see it on Discord. Well, anyway, I have a problem where I had a flying squirrel get down my chimney, and I could hear it in there. And a few months back, and I was able to get it out of the chimney, but then it got in my house. So we had a little battle here of wills, and finally it didn't fight very hard when I finally cornered it in my living room, and I took it down to the bottom of the street and let it out where I think some owls live. No hate here. I just thought they might get to know each other. Maybe the owls would invite the little squirrel to dinner. I'm not sure. But I heard something banging around on my chimney the other day. So I'm steeling myself tomorrow to tape another bag up there. I hope I don't have a body drop out when I open the flue. I cannot figure out how the little guys are getting in. I had a year ago, contractor redid my decks, and I had him redo the chimney too. So I don't know how they're getting in up there. I guess it just takes a tiny hole for them to get in, but they get in the chimney, and then the chimney's metal and smooth. I've never used it the whole time I've lived here, and they apparently fall down and they can't get out. And it makes for a very intensively fly-filled experience because although they can't get out, there's a law that says your flue has to be cracked at all times, and there's a special little thing in there which is just enough to let the flies get out into the house. So anyway, it's kind of like living in a barn there for a few days until you clean up the mess and get all the flies out. So I get on it in a hurry now. Well, with that inspiring story, I'm going to turn it back to our net control Dave.
W7N, thanks with that. And
I had that problem with critters coming down the chimney too. I had a bird
come down, a starling, and that was kind of
but
got it out. It was
full of soot. Its wings spread around a little bit in the living room. I had to do quite a bit of housekeeping, cleaning up the soot, but I got that out and got the bird outside, and it flew away. So anyway, spared its life. So that's about it, man. So let's go and see if Bob's still with us. K9PQ in Bothell.
I am indeed. I am here, and I think I'm fine making this 73 round. I don't think I have any animals down chimney stories. I'm trying to think. If I had any, it would be my house in Seattle, in Maple Leaf. That was a very old house, and it was an old chimney, but I never actually, I lived there for 10 years, never had a fire in the fireplace. I'm not, I mean, I liked it when our family, the house I grew up in, we had a wood-burning fireplace. I liked it, and I helped out, with the fire and all of that. But when it was just me on my own, I wasn't that interested, and I decided I liked the gas fireplace that I had in Bothell a whole lot better. I used that a lot. I do. The only bat thing I know of is I don't remember many bats around Robbinswood where I grew up, but my grandmother had a place on the east side of Lake Sammamish, and there were definitely bats there, and that was fun. We would spend the night and sleep out on the porch, or even just before we went to sleep, just watching the bats swooping at the insects before it got so dark you couldn't see. When it was, because they'd start to get active after sundown, even if it was still in the twilight, they'd start to get active. Okay, well, it has been good, but I think I'll make this my 73. I just don't have a whole lot to say. So, but good hearing you all, and we'll talk to you next time around. 73 K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. We got your 73. Let's move on to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done, guys. It's been a good weekend, and hopefully everybody had a good trick or treat, and Halloween was fun for everybody. So I'll say 73, W7ITL.
W7ITL, we got your 73, and thanks for joining the net this evening. Let's pick up Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Okay, well, it sounds like everyone wants to abandon ship here. Sounds okay to me. I think I will go and maybe sample some of the unclaimed Halloween candy. Yeah, that might be a prudent thing to do. So I'll say 73s as well. And back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And you've got a chance if you go to your TV set quickly, find out what the outcome of this game is going to be. It's tied up, bottom of the ninth, and they got Canada is up to bat, so we don't know what's happening. It may go on to a 10th inning. Take care. And let's move on to James, WU7N.
I was successful on. I guess I spoke a little too soon on Discord. Now I've got a big black screen
with a little dancing pumpkin and some lightning. Oh, wait, no, it just came back. Okay, so I guess I'm back now on Discord. I had a dancing pumpkin for a while asking me, did I know what was lurking in chat other than me? And then for no reason at all now I can see Dave again. So that's one thing you can say about Discord. It's never a dull moment. Okay, so 73, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I, too, got kind of a late start for the past couple of days, so I probably need to get back on my sleep hygiene. So it's a good night to call it quits early and get to bed early. No trick-or-treaters here, and no squirrels raiding candy, just falling down my chimney. So I'll turn it back to Dave to close up this net. Good night, all. WU7N.
WU7N, we got your 7-3, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. That is the WW7STR's 2-meter repeater 147.08. So at this point, we're going to close down the net at 8:31. Good evening, all. This is Dave, KD7ZYM.
Node 3403068 disconnected.